Welcome back to OverThink, the Overwatch game show where I ask contestants hot takes and see where they stand. If you're unfamiliar with this series, it's done in the attacker spawn of New Queen Street, with the 3 circles representing the disagree stance, the neutral stance, and the agree stance. The lines in between representing the somewhat stances. If you didn't know, anybody could participate in this game show. I have open signups in my Discord server, so feel free to sign up there. Also, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. As long as this series does well, I'll keep doing more videos. And if you want to suggest any hot takes or themes for future episodes, please comment them down below as well. In today's episode, I've invited 5 bronze players and 5 GM players to answer the question that we've all been wondering. Do bronze and GM players think the same? Let's find out. I belong in the rank I am in. Go. All right, we're already off to a very split start.
So I just think since I'm new to the game and everything, I think it's only fair. I don't know the ropes like someone who's been playing from like 2016, you know?
There's obviously a lot of things I do not know as a bronze player. Knowing everything about every hero is just mind-blowing to me. But like, there's always this concept of elo hell. You don't have control over everything, so you might feel that you should be a higher rank.
I'm currently GM1, but we all know that the rank across the board for ladder right now is a little inflated. I haven't been playing the game a ton this season, but it's weird that this is the season that I hit GM1. Well, I think I belong somewhere around high masters or low GM. GM1 is not for me.
I've been hovering around GM1, GM3, especially during the like mid-season patch. It's been really like finicky. I think right now ranks are inflated.
Are you ready for the next one? Zero, if you could go on the line, please. No, other way. There you go. Oh, no, too far. There you go. A lot of the time, my games are unwinnable due to my teammates. Go. You guys are so hesitant.
The amount of times that I have had a complete and utter tank or support diff or in my upper DPS is insane.
What is your main, like, hero that you play?
I am a Sojourn and Genji main.
You know, sometimes it does feel like no matter what I do, the tank or the DPS just aren't doing their job. Like, why do I have more damage than you playing, like, Lucio? You know, I would say more often than not, it's other people the problem and it's not me.
At least 80% of the time, it's going to be your fault. Like, regardless, you can always say, oh, yeah, it was my teammates. But yeah, at least have to recognize that that's just cope.
A lot of the time end up playing with my friends, and I know that they know what they're doing, so it's a little bit awkward to blame them. But anytime that I solo queue, I guess I just don't feel like it happens often enough that it's like only my teammates' fault.
If you would have asked me, 2 weeks ago, I would have been in the hard agree spot. But right now, at least it feels like, yeah, you might have somebody on your team who's 2, 3, or God forbid even 4 ranks away from you. But chances are that somebody on the other team is also that rank or close to it.
So for me, I have over 20,000 competitive games. Out of those 20,000, I think about 10 or 20 were unwinnable due to teammates.
Rank inflation exists and is a problem. Go. Okay, all right. I'm more curious to hear from Hydra.
I just kind of went with the center because I don't really know. I mean, I've pretty much only been bronze and I've only been here, so I don't really have a good sense of if other people's ranks are being inflated or not.
Sojourn is still broken. Go. All right, so nobody hard agrees, but we have a lot of people in the somewhat agree.
I mean, I don't think it's like hard broken, but it's maybe still not great. I also play a lot of Mercy, and it's like, oh, yeah, I can still damage boost people and they still get one shot.
By herself, she's not as strong as she used to be. But with Pocket, as a Kiko player, I will try to contest her if nobody else can. So whenever I try to headshot her, I'll get her 1, but then she has a Mercy pocket and she heals back before I can land a second one.
The thing about Sojourn is it's the people who play Sojourn, because bronze and GM, I don't know if you know, but it's very different. So the person behind Sojourn dictates whether Sojourn is good or not in that rank.
Sojourn is not necessarily a meta pick. I say somewhat disagree because I think she's still incredibly strong, especially if you have a Mercy.
Coming from someone who peaked silver primarily by abusing like peak Sojourn's mechanics, I think in comparison to where she was before and also just in general now, she is nowhere near as broken as she was.
Having a wrecking ball on my team is usually a bad thing. Go. I had a feeling like most of the bronze players would go towards the agree, but it's funny that the only person in the agree circle itself is a GM player. I love seeing all the little tours together, and then we have Mason chilling with like his big friend. It's like the little kid that has like the big brothers, and he just like hangs out with them.
I'm Chris. I don't like balls. I mean, I don't like ball.
Hello?
So you're lesbian. Okay, I don't know what that has to do with this, but all right, let's moving on. We're talking about Hammond here. I didn't expect people to come out of the closet on my game show, but you know what? Anything for the views.
It really depends on what DPS is being run with the ball. If you're running something like, you know, Tracer Genji, I don't really know what to do with that because everybody's on dive and like I can't super keep up really well. It can work and it can be really fun, but usually if I end up with a ball on my team, it doesn't go well.
Next, we have 4 bronze players in the somewhat agree.
Wait, mine somewhat agree.
Yeah, where did you think you were?
Was this disagree?
No.
You know, when I'm in bronze, you know, not a lot of people have good mechanics to play ball in the first place, and it's just very hard to keep up with ball, and they just end up dying repeatedly and refuse to change because, you know, ball's it, you know.
I think a lot of players in my rank are not good with ball at all. I think they don't know what they're doing, but they're trying their best because he's meta. At the same time, when there is a good ball on my team, that's what makes a bit of a difference because, again, I am a Genji and Sombra player, so it definitely helps when I have that to just manage picks off of when it gets setting up picks.
I think that, like, I play support, so I kind of know how to play with a ball, so that's why I'm like okay with it. It's either I like play Lucio and dive with him, or I play Zen and I sit in the back of Discord or whatever he goes on and give him an orb. Like, I like know what to do. It's just a matter of if I can do that.
Mercy is a main healer. Go.
Mercy, obviously, the main thing about Mercy is the healing. Like, the damage isn't really good. I feel like with a lot of other supports, you can definitely do a lot more damage when you do healing and it will be absolutely fine. But with Mercy, I feel like you 100% need to concentrate more on the healing. And so, for me, that's what classifies it as a main healer.
I'm surprised nobody's like interjecting to disagree with a very vital part of Mercy's kit that he didn't mention.
OG Mercy, for the last 6 years, up until this current patch, I would be in the somewhat disagree category. However, with this new patch where she gets a lot of benefits from primarily focusing on healing, she's definitely more of a main support than she used to be. But I will directly counteract what Mason just said. You should not be focusing on healing as Mercy.
So I agree and I disagree because it very much comes down to what your team is playing. It also comes down to what is meta currently. And there's been many metas where you have been playing Mercy Zen as an example, where the Mercy was flying with the team or pocketing the Zen or like a Widow in the backline. So it very much depends on what your team is running and what playstyle your team is playing.
I just feel like there's a lot of different ways you can play Mercy, and main healer is an okay one, but I don't feel like that's necessarily the best way for everybody and every team composition to do that. Sometimes you get a lot more, I guess, value out of flying around and damage boosting people who are doing something at that moment.
I completely forgot about damage boosting, I'm sorry.
That's what I was wondering, yeah. You forgot about damage boost being a part of Mercy's kit?
Yeah, I completely...
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, and then who wanted to speak as the GM?
Oh, start.
Me. Oh, rock, paper, scissors.
No. I play Mercy. I play
rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. Sure.
Alright. Somebody count it down.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock.
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock. Ha! I win. Okay. I think it depends on the comp. Like, say you're running like a rat, because ball can just, a good ball will just roll away to find a health pack. So I think running Mercies under certain conditions as a main healer is okay because of the utility she provides.
Main support is like what your comp is based around. So your main supports are like Lucio, Brig, Mercy. They're considered main supports because that's what your comp is built around, whether it's Brawl, Sustain, or Poke. That's why you run either one of those three.
Look at Trash with the knowledge. We love women in STEM. This one isn't really a hot take as much as like where you guys stand. The statement is, I have an alt account in a different rank that I sometimes play on. All right, so every single GM has a Smurf account basically, and every single, oh my god! This is gonna be a little weird, but bear with me. Go back in the middle. We're gonna skip straight to my next question. Playing in a different rank ruins the experience for other people. Go. I love how the GMs agree. They're like, yep, I'm the problem. I know I am. And what?
So to preface this, I'm a flex player who has every single role in GM1. I can play basically almost everything. I do not play Torb. I don't like that character. So
wow, there's like 5 Torbs right next to you. Read the room, bro.
the reason I disagree or agree that it ruins people's games, even though I'm playing on a new character, is for the simple fact I have way more experience and I have a way easier time learning a new character than, let's say, a very new player that is bronze or silver or plant.
Whenever like I go on my ult, it's gonna be because I'm either losing, playing terribly, or I just want to like have fun. When I do that, I'm not as much impacting the game.
Tank mains, for some reason, they're like, hey, I want to try out support. I'm very bad at support, so they'll make an alt account and stuff like that I think is okay. But if you're like top 500 on Widow or somebody and you're like, tee I'm gonna make a new account and crush these guys, that's not fun.
I feel like it's on a situational basis, to be honest, because like if you are a Widow and you're trying to learn Widow and you're like a his scan main smurfing in a bronze or gold lobby or something, you sicken me. But but on the second
Call him
hand,
out. Talk your shit.
on the upper hand though, let's say you're, I don't know, a Lucio player, I don't care. If you are a hit scan player who smurfs as to learn another hit scan in low ranks, I will fight you in real life. If you want to learn Widow and you pick another account and I see you in gold, it's on sight.
If your avoid list is always full, you are likely the problem. Go.
Obviously, concept of avoiders teammate is to obviously get rid of people who are throwing your games, who are purposefully bad. But I feel like if someone's like not bad on purpose, it's way too harsh. Like, because the thing is with bronze, I feel like a lot of bronze players aren't actually that bad. They're just really inconsistent. So one game they can do awful, one game they can do great. And I feel like if you have the list of it full, you're just like trigger happy almost.
Some people just avoid people that they don't like. It's like if you're just sort of playing a game and you're like, oh, well, this person immediately picked a character that I don't like, so I'm gonna avoid them right now. It's definitely on you. Like there, you know, there's a big difference between that and like this person was like super duper toxic and rude and didn't really do anything to help, so we're avoiding them. But like if your avoid list is full constantly, I just don't know how statistically you would be running into that many people that aren't good.
I will say that I use it for only toxicity. The amount of times people like say slurs or, you know, just start like going wild like with trash talk, then that's when I use the block system, and it happens a lot in bronze.
I genuinely think that avoided teammate is more of a tool than anything. There used to be this feature called prefer a player, where if you had somebody you really enjoyed playing with and somebody that you knew was a consistently good player, you could get them on your team, you could prefer them. But they got rid of that in place of avoided teammate. And I think it's really good for, let's say you avoid a one trick, you avoid people that don't play the preferred character, you're like more likely to win with them on your team, especially if like they don't agree with your hero pool or something like that. Like if I get another Widow one trick on my team, I'll just avoid that Widow one trick so that I can play Widow and I can go against them with the enemy team next game.
Mercy's res is unhealthy for the game. 1, 0 is like ready to go. Go, I guess, go.
When a player is dead, they should stay dead. Especially back in the day when it was like a 6-stack res, that was just ridiculous. And it has gotten better over time, but still feel like it's just kind of a lot.
I've always said this. I believe res is bad for the game simply because of the way it interacts with the snipers. Because if you have a sniper duel and the enemy Widow has a mercy and you don't, you will always have to win a duel twice. And when you have 50-50 chance to win the duel, then you're gonna be more likely to lose. And it also comes down to the fact that mercy can literally go behind a wall, very far out of range to res instead of having to be in the open where you can really easily deny the res.
I feel like res does offer a lot of vulnerability. I think it's fair enough. I think if you have good target priority, if your team is actually like doing what they should, usually your target like Mercy is not going to get that many reses.
The thing is with I'm very aware of 5-man res. Let me say that I'm very aware. So the thing is,
Wait, you're aware of 5-man res from
I
5
am
years
very
ago,
aware,
but not
very
damage boost?
don't worry about that. Relatively, I feel like maybe I'm a bit, tricked into being here because it used to be way worse.
Support is the easiest role to climb with. Go.
So I'm a DPS player with almost 2,000 hours on DPS alone, ranked wise. And my highest role currently is support by a long shot. And I believe the amount of damage a support can do currently is way off the charts compared to what it used to be or what should have been the case, in my opinion.
I'm main role is DPS, and I think that support is the easiest role because it's really easy to handle mentally. I'm sure anybody who can go play DPS, and you'll realize that it's probably the most frustrating, and it's a lot easier to blame other people on support because there's not really much you can do. You're not the one doing the damage, and you're not the one taking the space. So what can you do? Tank players will always say tanks has the most impact in the game, but most of them agree that support is both the easiest and easy to climb with. I decided this season that I wanted to one trick Mercy to GM, and that was probably the calmest, easiest ride I have ever felt to GM. And I was solo queuing. I didn't do it with anybody. I just coasted through Masters straight to GM.
The thing with support is like it's the easiest role in the sense that you can do the bare minimum and get kind of away with it. Where on DPS and tank, you kind of put a little extra like effort into it. You know what I mean? The game kind of plays itself for you in a sense. Like if you just heal bot as Kiriko, you can get like this already like base value off of her.
I don't want to be blasted on Twitter.com. I think some supports have a far easier time than others. I think Mercy, for example, does have an easier time climbing up. Though she can be very stressful, at least personally. I'm not sure I would say that it is the easiest to climb in.
I'd say that support is the easiest to play mechanically, and I agree with Gabi that you can get away with making more mistakes than, say, tank or DPS. However, DPS and tank have the most impact in team fights, but at the end of the day, you are a support. It's your job to support the team while they're the ones that are taking space and getting kills. So, to a certain extent, it really is a role that's fairly reliant on your team.
The easiest role, is DPS. It's DPS, I'd easily say, without a doubt. When your tank and support are doing good, you're gonna be good, no matter what. But when you support and tank, you could definitely be bad no matter what. DPS, you can just shoot people. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at aiming, that's why I don't play DPS. I play support, and shooting people as DPS seems like a field day. I used to only play support in Overwatch 2 Season 1, but then I realized support is awful. It's awful to play.